When you think of psychology, the first thing that comes to mind might not be serial killers. Yet psychologists have long tried to understand why some people become serial killers. Is there a genetic component? Is the environment in which the person grows up more to blame for their behavior? Or is it a combination of factors that turn some people into terrifying killers? While every case is different, psychologists have tried to point to a variety of factors that might mold someone into a serial killer. It is important to note that there is no particular cause of serial killing, but the traits below tend to be common amongst serial killers. There are biological, social, and psychological underpinnings of this behavior. People that become serial killers are often intrinsically motivated by reasons they consider to be important. Serial killers occur amongst a variety of demographic groups, including people of different races, genders, ages, and religions. Serial killers who are motivated by sex typically begin to sexualize violence during childhood development. Connect the dots, some of the dots anyway, to see what they can learn about why serial killers develop. There are plenty of terrifying serial killers that have stolen newspaper headlines over the years, and some of them have been studied by psychologists seeking answers about the causality of serial killing. What psychologists have learned from their studies can perhaps be boiled down to one horrible truth: under the right conditions, anyone can become a serial killer. The serial killers discussed below, though, aren't just anyone. They are some of the most horrifying individuals to ever walk the earth. Number 10. Ted Bundy. You don't have to be American or have been around in the 1970s to know the name Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy, a name that sends shivers down the spine, was not just a serial killer, but a kidnapper, rapist, burglar, and necrophile. His twisted acts knew no bounds, leaving a chilling mark on history. Bundy's sinister method involved kidnapping innocent women, subjecting them to horrors beyond imagination, and then gruesomely killing them and cutting every single organ of their body. And he kept their heads as horrifying souvenirs. Before his execution in 1989, Bundy admitted to the abduction and murder of 30 women. Yet, the lingering darkness suggests a far more horrifying body count, perhaps obscured by false allegations and the shadows of unspeakable acts. Number 9. Harold Shipman. Meet the chilling moniker, Dr. Death, a title that shrouds Harold Shipman's legacy as a sinister figure responsible for the deaths of an estimated 218 patients between 1972 and 1998. The true extent of his malevolence likely surpasses these gruesome numbers. Operating under the guise of a trusted physician, Shipman had a nightmarishly convenient access to potential victims, allowing him to unleash a wave of terror without arousing suspicion. Most of his victims were elderly women, supposedly succumbing to natural deaths in their sleep. However, the sinister reality unfolded during the day, raising eyebrows. Shipman's audacious request for an unusually high number of cremation certificates didn't escape the notice of an astute undertaker. The wheels of justice turned in the year 2000, when Shipman was convicted, triggered by a daughter's report that he attempted to manipulate a victim's will, designating himself as the beneficiary. A descent into the depths of his malevolence ended in 2004 when Shipman chose a dark exit, taking his own life behind prison walls. Number 8. Andrei Chikatilo. Between 1979 and 1990, the Russian serial killer Andrei Chikatilo sexually assaulted, murdered, and mutilated more than 50 young women and children. Chikatilo killed his victims by stabbing and slashing them with a knife. One of the youngest was 9 years old. Chikatilo later admitted that he was only able to achieve orgasm by stabbing women, a fact which made it difficult for him to resist his strong urges to kill. Chikatilo was nicknamed the Butcher of Rostov, the Red Ripper, and the Rostov Ripper. Though he confessed to a total of 56 brutal murders, he was tried for 53, sentenced to death, and executed by firing squad in 1994. Number 7. Jeffrey Dahmer. No list of the most deranged serial killers would be complete without Jeffrey Dahmer. Dahmer, infamously known as the Milwaukee Cannibal. Dahmer's malevolent legacy unfolds with the conviction of murdering 17 young men over a chilling 14-year spree. Dahmer's macabre atrocities went beyond mere murder. He engaged in unspeakable acts of rape, dismemberment, and even cannibalism on his victims. The depths of his depravity were exposed during his trial when he confessed to drilling holes into victims' heads in a twisted bid to transform them into mindless sex slaves. While justice might have awaited Dahmer through execution, a different fate awaited him in prison. In 1994, the wheels of retribution took a dark turn as Dahmer met his end, beaten to death by fellow inmates. The saga of Jeffrey Dahmer remains etched. Number 6. Albert Fish. When a serial killer is dubbed the Brooklyn Vampire, the Moon Maniac, the Werewolf of Wisteria, the Gray Man, and the Boogeyman, it's almost certain he is thoroughly deranged. Fish was tried and found guilty of raping, killing, and cannibalizing 3 children in the early 1900s. However, he claimed that he had murdered more like 100 children and even boasted that he had children in every state. Especially deranged is the fact that Fish sent a letter to the mother of one of his victims, 10-year-old Grace Budd. The letter detailed how he had lured the little girl, strangled her, and then cut her into pieces to eat over the course of 9 days. Number 5. John Wayne Gacy. Unearth the bone-chilling horrors of John Wayne Gacy, a man whose moniker, the Killer Clown, conceals a sinister reality. Gacy's demented double life involved donning the guise of Pogo the Clown at children's events, providing him with a hauntingly convenient facade. Convicted of the rape, torture, and murder of 33 teenage boys over 6 agonizing years, Gacy's heinous acts unfolded within the walls of his seemingly ordinary home. Using methods like strangulation and asphyxiation, he callously extinguished the lives of his victims before burying them on his property. The tale of John Wayne Gacy stands as a stark reminder that evil can lurk behind even the most seemingly benign personas. Number 4. Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper may be a name that everyone knows, but no one can be certain of his true identity. Whoever he or she really was, Jack the Ripper was definitely deranged. In 1888, Jack the Ripper terrorized the Whitechapel neighborhood of London by slitting the throats and abdomens of at least 5 prostitutes and leaving them for dead. Sometimes, he would even remove the woman's uterus and take it as a sort of prize. It's unlikely Jack the Ripper's true identity will ever be figured out, but Ripperology, the study and analysis of the murders, has certainly inspired quite a few what-if novels and films over the years. Number 3. Joachim Kroll. German serial killer Joachim Kroll plunged humanity into the abyss of horror, staining the pages of true crime with his malevolence. Between 1955 and 1976, Kroll, with his bare hands, snuffed out the lives of at least 14 individuals, including innocent children. His descent into madness didn't end with the heinous act of strangulation. Kroll delved into the macabre, engaging in necrophilia and grotesque dismemberment. The grotesque revelation came to light when plumbing issues led to a horrifying discovery: human remains clogging the pipes. Kroll's arrest uncovered an unimaginable scene, a grotesque feast in progress, with body parts from his latest victim, 4-year-old Marion Ketter, simmering in a nightmarish culinary ritual. Delve into the harrowing tale of a dark chapter etched in the annals of true crime. Number 2. H. Holmes. Delve into the twisted narrative of H. Holmes, a name that echoes through the corridors of Chicago's dark past. A con artist turned malevolent architect of death, Holmes erected a building during the 1893 Columbian Exposition, an ominous structure later dubbed the Murder Castle. Within its walls, Holmes orchestrated a symphony of horror, preying on unsuspecting visitors seeking accommodations. Little did they know, they had entered a nightmarish labyrinth equipped with hidden rooms, chutes, and trapdoors, a perfect stage for Holmes's sadistic acts. The devilish carnival reached its zenith as Holmes, under the guise of hospitality, subjected victims to unspeakable torment before their inevitable demise. The building's sinister design facilitated the disposal of lifeless bodies consumed by flames in a kiln within the bowels of the murder castle. Holmes's reign of terror met its end in 1896, marked by his execution for the murder of Benjamin Petzl, an associate turned victim in the malevolent saga of Holmes. Unearth the chilling legacy of a forgotten fiend in the annals of #TrueCrime. Our number one Kyler is Pedro Elpez. Pedro Elpez's deranged killing spree is terrifying enough, but perhaps even more terrifying is the fact that Elpez's current whereabouts are unknown. The native of Colombia claims to have raped and killed more than 300 women across Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. At least 100 of these were tribal women. In 1980, the monster of the Andes was arrested and led police to the graves of 53 victims between the ages of 9 and 12. Elpez was found guilty of murdering 110 girls in Ecuador. He also confessed to an additional 240 murders in Peru and Colombia, and was declared insane. Incredibly, Elpez was released in 1988 for good behavior, and while there are plenty of rumors, no one can confirm exactly where he is today. As we draw the curtains on the chilling accounts of deranged serial killers, we invite you, our brave viewers, to share your thoughts in the comments below. Whose twisted tale captivated you the most? Is there a killer whose dark deeds you want us to explore further in a detailed documentary? Your voice shapes the narrative. Subscribe, like, and stay tuned for more bone-chilling stories from the shadows of history. Your journey into the abyss has only just begun.